Hey everyone, Sarah here at Three Little Potters, and today I am reviewing Clayscapes Coastal Blue. And I see on the box here that it says new formula, so I don't know what the old formula was like, so hopefully the new formula is a good formula. If you're not used to this company, what they do is sell their glazes in dry mixes. So this is the 5-pound batch of this glaze. As we're opening it up here, it's basically just a container, plastic bag of glaze ingredients all together. And then you add water and mix it up. It's sort of the Bisquick of glazes, right? With this one, you will want to go ahead and wear a mask when you're mixing it. Just whenever you're using any sort of dry glaze ingredients, dry clay, always great to wear your mask. So I won't be able to talk to you while we add the water in, but you'll be able to see it. So I think you'll get the hint. So just a heads up, there are no directions in the box when you buy this clay. It's just your bag of glaze ingredients all mixed together. It does have a hydrometer reading online if you want to check that out and see what their suggestion is. In general, I'm using sort of my own glaze mixing rules when I do this. I'm going to add 0.8 of this dry ingredient mix in water. So for this recipe, I'm going to be adding 1,800 grams of water to this.
Does not make my hair look very nice.
As I'm pouring, I'll kind of go slowly to see if there are any big chunks that I missed with the blender. So I want to definitely get those to mix in before I'm completely done pouring it in. So if I see if there's some more big chunks, then I might hit it with the blender again. See? Some spots I missed. Okay. I wonder what's causing it to be slightly chunky. If I had my spray bottle, I would spray bottle this to get these last little bit in. But I'm going to just go ahead and put a tiny bit more water into this. This is a fairly large amount of glaze, so I'm not too worried about putting in an extra tablespoon or two of water. If this was a 100-gram batch, then I would be sure to use my Mister bottle, but 5-pound batch, we're pretty good. All right. It's about the consistency of maybe milk or cream. This is a glaze that I'm hoping will look good by itself, so I'm going to do some tests with some different clays here. I'm going to do brown bear. And this is Rue stoneware. And these ones I'm planning on doing just by themselves. And then I'm also want to do a control here. And this will be my B-Mix 5 clay. So those three will be controls without anything added to them. And then I want to try layering it with a few other glazes. So when I'm layering, I will often try to dip and then let it rest for an hour before I add my commercial glazes to it, just so that it has time to fully absorb into the clay and then dry out. I really hope this glaze works well with other glazes. And the Clayscapes glazes weren't cheap. Well, they are kind of cheap for the amount of glaze that you get, but overall, kind of pricey. But you definitely save a lot of money being able to dip rather than taking the time to brush on that many coats. So this is going very quickly. So hopefully this will be a beautiful glaze. So for this test, I'm going to put it in the kiln as is. This is on brown bear clay. And this is on Rue stoneware. And this is on B-Mix. So those three will go in as they are, and I'll show results. And for this one, this is my night glaze, similar to Amico's Obsidian. It's just a general celadon with black stain added into it. I'm going to go ahead and put a coat of the Coastal Blue in the middle, and then just around the edge. We'll see how that goes. I think I'm just going to do the one brush coat to start with, and we'll see how the results end up there. This has Studio White on the top, and I'm going to put Coastal Blue over top of that. For the others here, I'm going to try some different layers. Let's see, what do I have? This is Dirty Snow. It's a mixed glaze, similar to Light Flux. I'm gonna just try it around the rim of this one here. And I'm not sure how runny this glaze is, so I'm keeping my experiments more toward the inside of bowls than I am on the outside of pieces. Okay, so that is that test ready to go in the kiln. I'm also going to try Spectrum's Autumn Purple, one of those original floating glazes. Now, I definitely don't know if this is going to crawl or what might happen, but hopefully it'll be something good and interesting. So I've really liked Pearl White by Spectrum with my Blue Opal mixed glaze. So I've been wondering if I'll get something similar with this here. So let's see. We'll see how Coastal Blue with Pearl White compares to Blue Opal with Pearl. Here I have our mixture of Chauncey from that video. And I'm going to just go ahead and brush some right in there. Just going to do one thickish layer on the inside here. And yes, as usual, Chauncey wants to run all over the place. Okay, that one's going to be in the kiln just like that. And this is Storm Cloud, part of the Spectrum Nova line, I believe. We'll see what a dark rim looks like there. And for my last test, I'm going to head and put a little bit of Amico's Honey Flux. Okay. And that's it. I'm going to put these in the kiln, fire to cone 06. Cone 6, not cone 06. And then we'll see what the results are. All right, the coastal blue, our results are out of the kiln, and I think we got some great pieces. Yes, so these have been sitting now for about a week, and I will say that you can see there's a few craze lines. It's a close thing. Where can you see it the most? Here, you can see it on this. We can look at those craze lines a little bit closer on the photo table, but I do think it was a great glaze. I thought it was surprisingly did well on the Rue stoneware. I was surprised that it has sort of this brown undertone to it. I wasn't quite expecting that. This is one brushed coat over it. I think this Chuncy foam over top is really probably a really strong combination, but I don't love it. Looks like it just has a little teeny bit of crazing, and obviously it ran. It's a very fluid glaze. Seeing a little teeny, is that a hint of crazing there? Yeah, maybe. Here it is over my night base glaze. So it's definitely bringing out some blue tones. Over Rue stoneware, I don't see any sort of glaze imperfections, so it's working really well with the speckles in that clay. It doesn't seem to be doing too much. This looks fine on the inside, but where it pulls thickly, a few tiny, maybe hairline, pearl white over top of it. Here is Honey Flux over top. It's a pretty combination. This was just the single dip over the brown bear clay, which I think is a really interesting result. There's a lot going on for just a plain glaze, so definitely loves the dark clay, and I do not see any little lines on this one. I believe this is our control. Just a little bit of a run right there. And this brown edge definitely surprised me. This cup has Storm Cloud on the rim. And you can see wherever the glaze is by itself and pulls thickly that you're getting teeny tiny craze mark right there. Here it is with Dirty Snow. Again, seeing just a couple minor imperfections. Very pretty, but if you are very anti-crazing, this is probably not the combo for you. It is slight, it's just... This had Autumn Purple on the rim. I'd say Autumn Purple didn't really add anything to this glaze. Just made it sort of run a little bit. This was dipped, and it has a little bit of Bermuda green on the inside, and I put a little bit of dark flux on the rim. Really pretty where it pools thickly, but again, you know, we're looking at some craze marks there. It doesn't really affect the functionality of this bud vase as it has a stable glaze on the inside. This mushroom had one coat of Studio White over it and then a brushed coat of the Coastal Blue. Which was by far my favorite, was a dip in Coastal Blue and then a small amount of variegated Dove dip right on the top there. Which is really, really pretty. Mostly you can see some few imperfections right around that bottom edge. And it ran a little bit, but I do not see any imperfections on the inside. Probably offer it as a discount in my shop and possibly as a planter. I definitely loved Coastal Blue a lot more when it first came out of the kiln. After it sat and crazed, I love it a little bit less. I think it's a really pretty glaze. I just wish the expansion was a little lower. And since it's not a glaze that I mixed, it would be kind of a gamble to try to add something to it to lower that expansion. It does look like it works on brown bear clay and Ruse stoneware. I don't see any crazing on those. B Mix 5, what I would do to deal with this is probably use the glaze thinly, use the glaze over other glazes that I know are low expansion glazes so that I'm overall not getting into that crazing zone. You can make your own judgment call as to whether or not you include glazes that crackle or craze in your own work. I feel like if it's on the outside of a piece, if it's a decorative piece, then that's fine. If it's on a planter, that's fine. But for food safety, some people are yay and some people are no. Uh, because I sell my work to people, I usually don't use glazes that craze, at least definitely not on the inside of anything. So a bit of a bummer that Coastal Blue doesn't fit my favorite clay, but I am sure that I will figure out a way to use it up. I think this combo is really pretty. So this on a planter could be a good use for that glaze for me. But as far as long-term use, unless I really start using a lot of brown bear and Ruse stoneware, I will probably not be buying more of this glaze. So what does everybody think? Do you think this is do you love Coastal Blue? I know it's one of their um, more popular glazes over at Clayscapes. How do you feel about it? Is it working on your clay? Are you getting any crazing? I'd love to hear what other people think of this glaze, and thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.